Fard would sit at the dining table with the same mug, navy blue, chipped edge, tapping the spoon twice before stirring his tea. Sana would braid her hair in front of the mirror near the window. Yusuf would shove toast into his mouth while hunting for one missing shoe. And I was happy in the small ways that matter. In the worn wooden spoon I used for breakfast eggs. In the smell of Ada roasting in the pan. In the knowledge that our savings, painstakingly collected for the children's future, were safe. Every month, Fard and I sat at the same dining table, 2 laptops open, going over our expenses. I trusted him with the technical side of things, transfers, investments, all those little financial details that bored me to sleep. But I kept every login, every password. He never hid anything. At least, I believed he didn't. And trust, once comfortably rooted, doesn't check for cracks. Now, when I think back, I realize the first signs were soft, gentle, almost easy to overlook. Like the way Farid began coming home later, meetings, traffic, last-minute tasks. Or how he started keeping his phone face down on the table. Or the faint, new cologne he didn't wear around me. But at the time, I didn't attach weight to any of it. I had built my life on trusting him, and trust makes you blind to shadows that haven't yet taken shape. One night, after the kids fell asleep, Farid sat beside me on the sofa, scrolling through his phone while I folded laundry. "Work's been overwhelming lately," he muttered. I didn't even question it. Just placed a freshly folded shirt on the pile and squeezed his shoulder. "Take a break this weekend?" I said. He gave a small smile. "Maybe." I always believed that when a heart breaks, it makes a sound. A small one, like a glass slipping from wet fingers and hitting the floor. But the morning my husband transferred half our savings to another woman, my heart didn't shatter, it went silent. Silent in a way that scared me more than any scream ever could. That silence started in the pit of my stomach as I stared at our banking app, the numbers flickering like they couldn't decide whether to tell me the truth. A single line glowed back at me. Transferred. PKR 2,450,000 recipient. Azima. A name I had never seen. A woman I had never heard of. Half our savings gone. I remember touching the screen again, as if pressing the refresh button would fix everything. But nothing changed. The digits stayed small and merciless. For a long moment, I sat perfectly still on the edge of our bed, watching the sunlight crawl across the tiles. My hands were trembling, but my mind empty. Not even fear. Not yet. Just that quiet. That terrible, suspicious quiet. Underscore 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 underscore. If you had met me 6 months earlier, you'd think my life was simple, maybe even enviable in its steadiness. My name is Hira. I was married to a man named Farid, a calm, steady presence in my life for nearly 14 years. He was the type who folded his shirts with perfect lines and placed his shoes side by side, like soldiers waiting for inspection. He spoke softly, laughed seldom, and loved predictability. We had 2 children, Sana, 10, bookish and dreamy, and Yusuf, 7, still smelling faintly of crayons and sunshine. Before the storm tore through our lives, our mornings looked almost rehearsed.